Hey guys, I thought I'd do an update on the 49 project. It's been on the lift since June, mostly due to issues that I've been having with the rheumatoid condition and just, between time and energy and other things, it's been here a while. Another part of the problem is a big project I was starting on, which was to take the body back off the frame to try and see if I could get the transmission up in the back and get the engine down in the front, both of which are going to be a problem because the reason it's where it's at has everything to do with little things like the steering rack comes near the filter. I could put a shorter filter on it. The coolant line that I custom built is close to the frame, and you drop the engine down in the front, you're going to have an issue. Air conditioner brackets get in the way of power steering lines, and the pulley gets close to the frame cross member up here. On the other end, to lift the transmission up, the floor pan starts getting in the way. So what is the angle of the transmission? The output shaft's at 6 degrees down. So it's a little bit more than desirable. Obviously, I think around 3 is kind of the preferred max. So, that's an issue. The other issue is in my lack of having any experience with pinion angles, I misunderstood or misread or read some bad information, saw a few bad diagrams that said that it has to be parallel to the output shaft angle. So 6 degrees, parallel, meaning that if the back of the transmission is down, the front of the pinion have to be up. However, it turns out that's not the case. It does not care if it's positive or negative. So by going to having the front of the differential down, it brings the drive shaft down, and I don't know, you've got about at least 12 or more inches. So for every degree at 12 inches, it's about a quarter inch of drop, and we're talking 12 degrees. So what does that come out to? About 3 inches difference, which means you're bringing the rear of the drive shaft down 3 inches. It's about 5 feet, and at 4 feet, it would be 1 inch per degree. So it's not even a degree, but it is reducing that angle, and that's significant because when I would drive the car, if I had it lifted all the way in the back, which is about an inch below stock height, it's a really good height to be at on the highway, and the vibration was pretty minimal. It was really more of if I drove it around lowered and I decelerated, it would really shake. But it's just too much, really. Now, I have actually played around with this jack a little bit, and I have a little shim under here, which is about to fall out. So the angle is not right. But when I angle everything here, the drive shaft has -1. So it's actually a little bit lower in the back, which is good, than it is in the front. So we're going in the right direction. Still plenty of clearance. And if you look at the frame and where the drive shaft is, and we're not even close for ground clearance, there's no issue there. And but here's the problem. The Heim joint mount for the 4-link ends up being about an inch too short. I don't have enough thread left in here that I feel good about going any further with it. And 12 degrees, let's see, a quarter inch at 12 inches. So we're at 6 inches. So you're looking at half the movement. So for every degree at 12 would be a quarter. At 6 inches would be 1/8 of an inch. So 1/8 of an inch times 12 degrees, you're about an inch and a half, a little bit under maybe. And that pretty much works out what we're seeing here. This is not currently sitting in the right place, by the way. It's actually tilted up some now because I dropped the jack. But it is an inch and a half is what I need. The other problem that this is creating is the angle of the bag mounts has also moved in relation to that. And keeping in mind that all this was welded up with the assumption that I was going to have a positive angle to that. It was going to be up in the front. So now I've gone exactly opposite of what I originally planned. So the point is, it looks like I'm going to have to take the rear end out and cut these mounts off and relocate them a couple degrees in the other direction. About 6 degrees to be right. But I guess that's what we're going to do. Now, the shock mounts, already I had an issue with the the maximum height that these brackets that were provided with this setup was too low without boxing the whole trunk area, and I didn't want to drive the car around like that. So I extended those, and actually the car will still go all the way down until it sits on the tires. So in doing the math on this and how far the car needs to go down, I believe that I'm going to leave these alone, because what they're going to ultimately do is push up here, which is going to let this go further down and not go as far up. And I'm hoping that's going to work out to bottom these shocks out before the tires touch the top of the wheel wells. That would be ideal. Right at would be ideal. I don't want to, I want the car to go as far down as it can, but it has more travel than the car could actually handle with these tires and the stock wheel wells. So I guess that's my project this winter, is going to be to drop this rear end out, cut these brackets, try to measure them to perfection. At least now I know the angle this is going to be at, so I can figure out the positioning of everything perfectly and get the rear end blocked up and get everything welded back on. And the good news is that as much work as that is, it's far less than trying to pull the body back off the car. So I can stop that project. Thankfully I didn't get very far. A couple of wiring harnesses that I unplugged. I drained the coolant and pulled out some of the lines that I made for the coolant. So it'll give me a good chance to check everything out and start working on the air conditioning in time, hopefully, for the next hot weather cycle. Anyway, that's about it. Nothing new on this car. It probably never will be. Just waiting for one of you to tell me you want to come and get it for the right money. So we shall see. All right, well, that's the update. I'll let you guys know something in the future. Take care.